The GameCube's place in history. The Nintendo GameCube launched in late 2001 during one of the most competitive moments in gaming history. The PlayStation 2 was already dominating the market. The newcomer Xbox was backed by Microsoft's enormous resources, and Sega had just bowed out of the console race after the Dreamcast. Nintendo's console looked different, small, cube-shaped, purple, with a built-in handle. Some thought it looked like a toy, others thought it looked futuristic. Unlike the PlayStation 2, which doubled as a DVD player, the GameCube was all about games. No movies, no multimedia ambitions, just discs. Tiny proprietary discs at that, and a focus on delivering Nintendo's signature style of fun. Sales-wise, the GameCube never truly broke through. It sold just over 21 million units worldwide, far less than Sony's 155 million PlayStation 2s. Yet, despite those numbers, the GameCube is remembered for its exceptional library. Bold experiments, stunning exclusives, and some of the most beloved games in Nintendo's history. When we ask, what was the best GameCube game of all time? We're really asking a bigger question. What game best defines what the console stood for? The contenders. The GameCube library was stacked with gems, and a few clear contenders always rise to the top of the debate. Super Smash Bros. Melee, 2001. The best-selling GameCube game with over 7 million copies sold. Fast, chaotic, endlessly fun, and still played competitively today. For many, this is the GameCube. Metroid Prime, 2002. A masterpiece that reimagined Metroid as a first-person adventure, blending exploration, combat, and puzzle solving with an unmatched atmosphere. Resident Evil 4, 2005. A game so revolutionary it redefined action games, influencing nearly every shooter that came after it. It started as a GameCube exclusive but quickly spread. The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker, 2003. A bold artistic gamble that traded realism for cel-shaded, cartoon-like visuals. Mocked at first, it's now seen as one of the best and most timeless Zelda games ever. Each of these games could wear the crown, but which one truly captured the essence of the GameCube? The case for Super Smash Bros. Dear Smash Brothers. Melee is more than a game, it's a cultural touchstone. Launching just months after the GameCube itself, it became the console's instant system seller. With a huge roster, refined mechanics, and faster gameplay than its N64 predecessor, Melee delivered a fighting game experience like no other. It appealed to casual fans as the ultimate party game, but also built an enduring competitive scene. Tournaments for Melee still take place today, and for 2 decades it's been studied, dissected, and loved by hardcore players. If we judged best by sales and longevity alone, Melee would be the clear choice. But its dominance also makes it feel bigger than the GameCube, almost as though it transcended the console it launched on. The case for Metroid Prime. For over a decade, Metroid had been absent from home consoles. Then came Metroid Prime. Many were skeptical. How could Metroid's side-scrolling exploration possibly translate into a 3D first-person perspective? Retro Studios proved the doubters wrong. Prime wasn't a first-person shooter in the traditional sense. It was a first-person adventure. It emphasized exploration, scanning alien flora and fauna, solving puzzles, and unraveling the mystery of Talon 4. The atmosphere was dense and immersive, the music eerie and unforgettable. Prime is often described as near perfect. It brought Metroid into 3D with the same grace that Ocarina of Time brought Zelda into 3D. For many, it's the GameCube's crown jewel, yet even this masterpiece had to share the spotlight with Zelda. The case for Resident Evil 4, few games in history can claim to have changed their genre as dramatically as Resident Evil 4. With its over-the-shoulder perspective, intense pacing, and cinematic presentation, it redefined survival horror and action games. Developers across the industry, from Capcom itself to Epic Games and Naughty Dog, borrowed ideas from RE4. When it launched in 2005, it was a GameCube exclusive, part of Capcom's so-called Capcom 5 partnership with Nintendo. But that exclusivity didn't last. Within a year, it was ported to PlayStation 2, and from there, it reached nearly every platform imaginable. Today, Resident Evil 4 is remembered as an industry-changing classic, but its identity isn't tied to the GameCube alone. It belongs to gaming as a whole. The Wind Waker controversy. That brings us to The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker. If there was ever a GameCube game that symbolized Nintendo's willingness to take risks, this was it. When Nintendo revealed the game in 2001, fans were stunned. Gone was the darker, more realistic style teased the year before. In its place was a cel-shaded, cartoon-like Link with exaggerated expressions and a colorful, almost storybook art style. Some fans hated it, dismissing it as Zelda for kids. But when Wind Waker released in 2003, critics and players alike discovered something magical beneath the cartoon visuals. Why the Wind Waker defines the GameCube, the bold art style. Nintendo bet big on cel shading. At the time, it seemed childish to many, but today it looks timeless. While many early 2000s realistic graphics have aged poorly, Wind Waker looks as stunning in 2023 as it did in 2003. Its expressive characters, vibrant ocean, and dynamic animations gave Zelda a sense of charm and personality no other entry had before. The Great Sea. Instead of trekking across a landlocked Hyrule, players sailed a vast ocean filled with islands, secrets, and dungeons. It made exploration feel boundless, and every new horizon promised adventure. Sailing became iconic, capturing the essence of discovery, a deeper story. Despite its whimsical look, Wind Waker carried heavy themes. The ocean was a flooded Hyrule, a remnant of a kingdom sacrificed to save the world. Ganondorf was portrayed not just as a villain, but as a tragic figure, yearning for a homeland he had lost. Beneath the playful exterior, Wind Waker told one of the most mature and emotional stories in the Zelda franchise. The soundtrack, Koji Kondo and team delivered one of the most memorable Zelda scores. From the joyful melody of Outset Island to the sweeping theme of Dragon Roost Island, the music captured both the whimsy and the weight of the journey. Redemption over time. At launch, Wind Waker faced skepticism, but over the years its reputation has soared. Its HD remake for the Wii U introduced it to a new generation, and today it's widely regarded as one of the greatest Zelda games ever made. The spirit of the GameCube. When it came to the GameCube, market dominance was not the goal. It was not the platform of gritty realism, it was not the most powerful system, and it was not the game console that had multimedia capabilities. It was a console that had daring choices, a fun design, and artistry that stood the test of time. Not only that, but that is precisely what the Wind Waker stands for. It was initially undervalued, just like the GameCube itself was at the beginning. Similar to the GameCube, it has held up better than many of its rivals over the course of its existence. And much like the GameCube, it did not win its place in history by being the most popular, but rather by being the most memorable. The final verdict. As a result, what is the best game for the GameCube? When sales and competitive legacy are taken into consideration, Super Smash Bros. Melee emerges as the winner. It's Metroid Prime if you're looking for a game that offers both originality and excellent execution. If you consider the impact that it has had on the industry, Resident Evil 4 is the winner. On the other hand, if you are looking for a game that truly captures the essence of the GameCube, then The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker is the one that deserves the crown. Mostly due to the fact that the best game is not necessarily the one that has the most sales, or even the one that has the most influence on the most genres. At other times, it is the one that brilliantly embodies the essence of the console that it was originally designed for.